of our leading and embracing mental wellness. Can you hear me? Yes. So as we wait on our chairman for this event, I do want to recognize all of our sisters. My sisters, it's so great to see you. We have some guests that are joining us today, and our National First Vice President, Patricia Randall. I want to say hello to you. And thank you for joining us this evening as we open up. As you know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And it is important that we understand mental health, that it is definitely essential to overall health and overall well-being within our communities, especially to African Americans. The month raises awareness of trauma on the physical and emotional and mental well-being of children, families, and communities. And I'm so concerned, especially when it relates to social media and the impact that it provides to our children. And surprisingly, not only to our children, Dr. Gardner, I'm sure you're finding that it's to the adults as well, and especially during this pandemic. So I know this is a very important program that we need to have so much more value, especially in our communities. And I'm so proud of the National Association of Negro Business Women, and certainly the Metro Atlanta Club, that we are embracing one of our mandated programs that we want to have for the communities in which we serve. So this is a wonderful evening that would allow us to have a chat with you and to gain even more knowledge and awareness as it relates to how we as an organization, our association, I should say, that will be empowered to continue to share the importance of mental health awareness in our communities. So thank you so much for your commitment and support to this association, to our community. You're a graduate of Morris Brown College. We're so excited about the accreditation to Morris Brown. And, you know, it's one of the signature schools in HBCU here in Atlanta. But thank you so much for what you do, not only just for this association, but for the people that you serve through your practice. So, and we're looking forward to an awesome evening with you tonight. With that, I see our chair has joined us, Tracy Moss. Tracy, it's so lovely to see you.
See you as well. I had a hard time getting, but I got in.
Yes, we understand. So thank you so much. And thank you for the work that you're doing in leading this particular program and evening chat with Dr. Gardner.
Thank you so much.
Now, before we get started, Patricia Randall, I know she's on, and if there are any other dignitaries that are on, certainly we have our second vice president, Dr. Stephanie Merrick, who is also on, and many of our club sisters, but
Madam National President is on also, Madam President. Madam National President is on also.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness, I'm excited. I didn't see her. Looking at my display here of all of our pictures. Certainly Patricia Randall, since I've introduced you first, please, it's an honor if you'd like to just give us a few minutes of a welcome.
Actually, thank you so much, Madam President, Janice Andrews, but I do need to make a correction. I am not the National First Vice President. I am Special Assistant to the President. You have Dr. LaTanya V. Conley in mind, and I won't speak for her, but Madam President, I'm sure will do a great job. But thank you so much, though.
I know, I tell you, it's Wednesday. It's like, okay. But thank you so much for joining us. We love to have you.
Thank you.
All right, certainly my honor to introduce and to welcome to this program our National President, Sherelle.
Good evening, President Andrews
She
and my
muted
sisters
herself.
from the, can
Janice
you
didn't
hear
mute
me?
herself.
Yes, we can hear you. For all others, please mute, please.
Oh, okay. That's okay. I'm driving, but I did want to make sure I was able to come in for a little while to join with you while I'm in my car driving. I'm going to go back on mute, of course, so you won't be able to hear the traffic that I'm in. But I just want to thank you and congratulate you for what you're doing during this month of mental health wellness. We did put out an article on mental health, as well as our national chair for health, Rochelle Purnell. And I don't know if everyone has had an opportunity to read that wonderful article that she put out, but it is certainly something that you would want to take a look at. And it just also, it recognizes mental health as well. So I want to sit back and listen to the program as much as I can while I'm trying to keep my eye on the road. But thank you so much for the invitation. And it's my pleasure to be here with you this evening.
Well, it's an honor to have you, and thank you so much for your support throughout this entire club year, and in fact, the entire term of your leadership. So thank you so much for your support. And again, I just want to, before I relinquish to our chair, all of our other guests, sisters from various districts and across our national association, thank you so much for joining us. With that, it is my pleasure, my honor, my love for our chair, Tracy Moss. I will now turn it over to you.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us this morning. I'm so sorry this evening. I am so excited about today's program to have my Morris Brown colleague as the guest speaker. And also for myself, I felt compelled to really get involved in the leadership committee and mental wellness because of personal reasons. By me being in leadership, it's just so much going on in the world today. It's so much going on with leaders and just trying to have that work balance. I just felt like I know so many other people that are struggling and dealing with the same issues. So I felt compelled. I was like, if there's one that and I would really want to, along with others, but I just felt like this one resonate to me personally. So I just want to thank you all for joining us tonight. And we have a short minute, so I want to go ahead and introduce the speaker. Like I said, she is my colleague. Her name is Dr. Tyra S. Gardner. She's a psychotherapist, speaker, media contributor, and CEO of At a Moment's Notice and the Wellness Center of Mindfulness. Tyra has over 25 years of clinical and counseling experience. Tyra's mission is to assist individuals to adapt to change and establish a work-life balance while coping with life challenges and mental health wellness. Tyra authored 3 books, Maintaining Good Mental Health workbook that promotes the importance of mental wellness, and I Am Way Too Blessed to Be Stressed, a guide to combat anxiety, and Let's LAF, an anger management journal that promotes living anger-free. Tyra is a professional contributor, sharing an expertise with media outlets including Daily Mail, Huffington Post, Today, and the Philadelphia Tribune, to name a few. Tyra's mission is to assist individuals to adapt to change and establish a work-life balance while coping with life challenges and mental wellness. So without further ado, I would like to welcome our guest speaker, Tyra S. Gardner.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Tracy. And I would like to thank the National Association of Negro Business and Professional Women's Clubs Incorporated Metro Atlanta Club, for having me speak with all of you this evening. I very much look forward to this, and I thank you all for the very warm welcomes that all of you've given me this evening. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so tonight's presentation is about leading and embracing mental wellness. Okay, so before we get started, what I normally do in my presentations is I have everybody do a work-life balance oath. And so in this oath, it says, I, and you put your name, promise to conduct myself in a professional manner at all times. I promise to be mindful of my behaviors while conducting business. I promise that when I begin to feel angered by any negative situations that occur within my business or work, that I will immediately remove myself from the situation and think before I react. I promise to leave my business, work problems there and not let it interfere with my family and home life. I promise to maintain a work-life balance and to maintain a positive attitude every day. The reason I put this work-life balance in the presentation is because as professionals, sometimes we tend to take our work issues home with us. And honestly, our family members don't deserve that type of energy that comes along with that. And sometimes things happen throughout the day that will cause us to, rethink situations, right? So the thing is, we want to leave all the negativity behind and we want to focus in on a positive lifestyle and maintaining that positive lifestyle. Okay, as Black women business owners, we are challenged daily with personal situations due to our daily responsibilities that cause us to lose a sense of control and our own self-identity, such as managing family, for example, cooking, cleaning, homework, teacher, financial advisor. In our businesses, we are the employer, sometimes employee, primary decision maker, etc. We think we have everything under control, and then something happens that shows us we are not as well balanced as we believe that we should be. And this becomes upsetting and disturbing, causing stress, anxiety, depression, and anger. This presentation today will provide you with all the strategies for a well-balanced lifestyle. We will discuss the warning signs and daily tips that can be used to help during those challenging and unsure moments. Mental health, wellness, and maintaining a well-balanced life is a major priority, and it all starts with you. Okay. Symptoms of an unbalanced lifestyle are temper, moody behavior, decrease of our energy, lack of sleep, excessive eating, and forgetfulness. Unsettled feelings, no boundaries for home or in your business, feelings of incompetence, feelings of not caring, decline in physical health and appearance, decline in mental health, as well as in loneliness. Now, some people have other symptoms, but these are just the main symptoms that I have seen with a lot of clients that I work with, right? Now, here are some work-life balance strategies for business owners and entrepreneurs. And this can also work for people who are in leadership or who also work in corporate America as well. Ways to conquer work-life balance is number one, we need you to make yourself a priority, right? Always put yourself first. And I know, sometimes that can be difficult, but we have to make sure that our needs are met first. Be able to set boundaries, right? Work boundaries as well as personal life boundaries. Let go of fear. The reason I have the dots there is because fear is false evidence appearing real. We have to let go of the fear and be able to embrace new challenges that we need to happen in our lives, right? Be able to take those challenges on head on. Be receptive of the word no, right? So when you hear the word no, you could use no as next opportunity, right? Because at the end of the day, when we hear the word no, we immediately go to rejection. But sometimes that rejection can be a blessing in disguise, and being able to be accepting of it, being able to give it to people, okay? Because we need to be able to say no to people as well, right? No is a complete sentence. You don't have to give any explanations afterwards, right? And being able to be a recipient of it and not having any hard feelings from it. figure your fuel. Figure out what fuels you. Schedule your life, self-care, making sure you have that in place as well, right? And then remember to turn it off. Remember when you need to power down. Remember when it's time to sit down and relax. Remember when it's time to have me time. Turning it off also includes that cell phone, right? And being able to turn your cell phone off, turn off social media, and being able to take those breaks and being able to give yourself that sense of calmness. Tips for navigating the new normal. Now, we've had a lot of changes over the past 2.5 years that has caused us to now have a new normal. So we have to be able to embrace the changes. We might not welcome them as much as we should, but we have to if we want to be able to move forward without any stress, anxiety, or anger. Okay. So with that being said, we need to be able to set a new routine. Focus on what you can control. There are so many things that are out of our control. We need to be able to focus on what we can control, right? And in regards to setting a new routine, because a lot of us are still working remotely, being able to designate rooms within your home as different areas for things to happen. So like, for example, if you have a spare bedroom, using that as your office, make your dining room your lunch room, and just designate different areas, so that you can make everything feel comfortable for you as well as your family, right? Also, being able to create healthy boundaries. Creating a healthy boundary is definitely needed. Being able to be able to let people know what need to be met, right? And not feeling like it's a burden, so we definitely have to have boundaries in place so people understand exactly where you're coming from. Allowing yourself time to socialize. Socialization is very important. I know now everything is opening back up and people are going out more. Go out with caution. You wear your mask if you need to. And if there are Zoom meetings that you would like to go to, you can socialize on Zoom as well. Just do what feels comfortable for you, not allowing different things to come over to allow you to put yourself in a negative mindset based off of things that's happening. And always remember to give yourself grace, right? Because we don't give ourselves grace enough, but allow yourself grace, allow yourself time to sit back and relax and to be able to, take a deep breath, always, be able to sit back and just, do a 4-6 count, 4-6-4 count. Inhale for 4, and then exhale 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then inhale again, and then release. And that, will help you with keeping yourself calm, as well as freeing your mind of things that might be stressing you at that moment. Okay. All right. Does anyone have any questions? I hope I didn't go through the presentation too fast. I was trying to make sure we had enough time for everything. Any questions, anyone?
I don't have a question, but I will tell you, I definitely will try the inhaling for 4, inhaling and 6, and then inhaling again. I needed it today. It is so important that as leaders, certainly in our own businesses and also even in our home, boundaries, and more importantly, giving ourselves grace and understand that, just step back, which is what I'm doing right now. Stepping back, so much to do, and so overwhelmed, and then you start doubting yourself and questioning your abilities and your contributions to your passion and your purpose. So I appreciate some of the things that you have provided for us that will help us in balancing, having some type of wellness and lifestyle balance, not only in our business, but in our homes.
Yes, definitely. Thank you for the comment. Anyone else?
I have a, hi, this
Question.
is Brenda.
So I noticed in your second slide, you talked about like the ability to, or not the ability, but when we don't have control of things, are there
Mhm.
any specific coping skills that you recommend when people have like a control complex or when they try to control things that are just not in their control? Is there anything, because all of the tips I think are good and can be applied in different situations, but is
Mhm.
there anything from your expertise that you would say is specific to coping with the ability to control things?
Well, what I would say is when dealing with control, with situation with control, right? Number one, you have to be able to take a step back and see exactly what it is that you need to be able to control, right? I'm the list lady. I call myself the list lady because I tell everybody to create a list, a pros and cons list, right? If it's something that you don't think you'll be able to handle, you have to be able to delegate out and be able to, delegate to someone who can handle that particular situation. Should there be a situation that needs to be handled, but if it's a situation like, I guess what we went through the past 2 years, that was out of our control. And so at this point, it was just basically being able to take a step back and finding ways to be able to navigate through in our own best interest, right? So that we could be able to maintain safety. But it basically depends on the situation when it comes to, gaining control over things. When it comes to things in the household, like with children, sometimes we have to pick and choose our battles when it comes with them, but we also need to be able to take a step back and be able to see, okay, let's see how we can work on this, work on these behaviors, work on the things that we need to do to be able to get through whatever situation it is. Because we know control can be good and control can be bad. Depends on, again, the situation.
Thank
I hope
you.
that.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Dr. Gardner, this is Brenda. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
Sometimes it's hard. Now, all of these attributes and everything that you got spelled out is great, and we know that. But what if a person actually don't realize that they are under stress or they are in need? What are some of the things that can really touch them mentally to make them understand that they need to sit back or might need to maybe not work so hard or put themselves out there so much to even be able to go through this mental stress? Because normally you kind of put yourself in this, in a lot of cases, maybe not all cases, but not recognizing where you're headed so that you can come back from, the stressful situations. These to me are for people who really realize that, okay, I'm stressed out. I'm having a problem.
Right. But for the person who might not realize it.
Right.
So for the person who might not realize that they're experiencing overload, for anyone, like if, let's say this is a loved one, you would be able to sit down and be able to point the things out to them that they may be experiencing, whether it's a mood swing, right? Or whether it's something in regards to, not completing things, so with them, when it comes to a situation like that and being able to point it out to people, just being able to, being able to be open enough to have that conversation with that individual, because a lot of people won't realize what's happening, but it's important to be able to engage them in that conversation and let them know the symptoms and the physical health situations that can occur from everything that's going on. I know, I'm gonna be completely transparent. I was a person that was like that did so much that I didn't realize what was happening. But then after a while, when I did become so overloaded, a lot of people was like telling me, and I was just like, no, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. And then I started having that conversation with my family, and they helped me to realize, like, no, you're not good. You need to take a step back. And so once I took that step back and I started, and I weighed my options. I started writing out to-do lists and things like that. And that's when I started realizing, yeah, Tyra, you got too much going on. And that's when I started taking a step back, because I started suffering from headaches from it. And I'm like, I don't like headaches that I can't drink water to get rid of. And I'm like, I don't want to have to take Tylenol and all of that. So it was like when I started realizing the physical health effects that it was having on me, I was like, this isn't good, because when your physical health starts to become impaired, it also works on your mental health. And a lot of people don't realize that there is a connection between your mental health as well as your physical health. So you definitely have to know the warning signs.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Okay. Well, I want to thank each and every one of you for participating. On the screen is my contact information and everything. And thank y'all so much for having me this evening. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Yes, thanks to all of you. Thank you so much. If anybody has any questions or anything, feel free to contact me. If you want a copy of the presentation, definitely reach out to Tracy, and I can send a copy of that over to all of you.
Thank you. I definitely would like one.
Yep, you're so welcome. Yep.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gardner. We appreciate you being here for sure. I just posted the agenda for our chair to come back on.
Thank you so much, Tyra. I really, really appreciate you. You gave us a wealth of information, and it really helped us. It really helped me personally. So I really would like to thank you so much.
You are so welcome. And I want to thank each and every one of y'all for participating and for coming through this evening. I'm going to, Tracy, I'm going to send you the link so that you can send it to the group. I'm going to gift everyone who was in this presentation this evening. I'm going to give all of you a copy of my journal, my Let's Laugh Living Anger Free journal. And I will send that link over to Tracy with the code.
Thank you so much.
Yes, that's awesome. Well, I know as we wrap up, and I want to thank you too for allowing us to share with you this evening, and similar to our little fireside chat on mental well balance. It is so important. And what we do here with the National Association of Neighborhood Business Women, our whole mission is just to protect and promote the interests of business and professional women in every aspect of our lives. And we appreciate you in supporting us in this initiative tonight. So thank you so much, Tyra. With that, Madam Chair, do we have, certainly we want to, is our membership director on? Because we certainly, with everything that you're bringing to the table tonight and your expertise, we certainly want to invite you and provide an opportunity for you to learn more about the National Association of Neighborhood Business and Professional Women. We need leaders and professionals like you to join our organization. Our first vice president certainly is over programming, and she can just give you just a brief overview of what we do in our programs as well. Madam First Vice President, Tamika.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. I actually talked to Nastasha this evening just in preparation for the program. So she's not able to make it as she's preparing for her son's graduation, but she did mention that because we're having our meet and greet on Sunday, if there's anyone who is interested in membership, that would be a final opportunity to join us and learn more about the organization before the membership cycle goes on to its next milestone. So so she did send her messaging and to make sure that we acknowledge the membership opportunity. So thank you for that, Madam President. Yes, and I'm Tamika Horton, the first vice president, and I am over the programming for the club. Each year we have mandated programs as well as service programs that we do to benefit ourselves and the community. Sometimes they are things like technology that we did this year that was for our club only. And then other times they are service programs that are for the community only. So we have a vast array of programming that we do. Our Let's program series stands for Leadership, Entrepreneurship, Technology, and Service. And so those are mandated programs that we are sure to do each year. And then we have programs that are relevant to the times. So for instance, we acknowledge mental health a little bit more this year because of the virtual environment and the pandemic. Last year, we did a big program on the census because year before last, because 2020 was a big year to be counted for our community for sure, and to educate our community about what it means to answer the census. So we are definitely looking for good women who want to do good work with us in terms of the programs that we present to the community and the programs that we do for professional and personal development for ourselves. So yeah, just come on board if you're not already on board. And for those members who are already a part of either our club or other clubs, we're grateful for all of the programming, collaboration, and ideas that we do to share with one another to ensure that we uphold the vision of the National Association in our local communities. So join us. And if you're just not ready to join us and you want to court us a little bit, then feel free to come to any of our programs and just be a guest or participant. We would love to have you. We have, we're closing out our year, so we do have our scholarship program coming up and a Safe Encounters program coming up on Sunday. And then we have a teacher appreciation on Friday night. So those are the only programs that we have left for this year, but we'll ramp up next year and we'll have another batch of programs to present to the community. So thank you for your time.
Well, I just also want to personally extend the invitation to our guests and to you, Dr. Gardner, if you are available, Vice President. We are doing our meet and greet, and this is an opportunity for you to learn more about the National Association of Negro Business and Professional Women's Club and the Metro Atlanta Club, because we will certainly share about our history and all of the programs that we are involved in as we serve the community through our leadership and through our professional and business careers. With that, I know they had a lot of questions. This was kind of a short chat, but there's so much more we could have shared. I know there were a couple of questions in the chat. We will follow up with them. One is particularly on grief. Many of us, and as you can see with all this white gray hair that I have, we are certainly taking care of our experience of grief, which is certainly an impact. So we will probably get with you and forward some of those questions to follow up with you and get back to our members. With that, if there's nothing else, Madam Chair, our second Vice President, Dr. Stephanie Merritt, has joined us. She said, thank you for what you're presenting.
Well, I had maybe a quick question. Tyra, I am
Madam
second
Chair,
vice
if there's
president.
nothing else, I will officially call the meeting adjourned.
Madam President, you were breaking up just a little bit, but Dr. Stephanie also had a question before we go.
Yes, right.
Okay.
And I know this was our adult thing, but we have a youth club under us. We our first year hosting our youth. We have 13 young youth, and so and a lot of them did programs this year and a contest, and talked about health and with wellness for us, eating right and sleeping. So what are some opportunities or some things that I could actually, I guess, take back for us them as a youth? These are youth from ranging from I think 12 to 18, well, 12 to 17 we have, but just they're also going through this with final exams. They're trying to
Is it
graduate
me or is it just breaking up? It might be me.
adulthood. So would that kind of apply the same?
Yeah, it definitely would apply the same, and definitely just being able to, with the youth, being able to tell them to they need to basically really stay off of social media as much as they are, because that's like the biggest problem with a lot of children. But they definitely need to be able to take that time to be able to process everything that they're learning, in school, because we do know that it can be stressful, for them, especially during finals times, but right now, the big thing that we definitely need to push is being able to monitor them on social media, monitor their whereabouts, in addition to being able to make sure that they're not, experiencing any kind of bullying or anything in schools. I specialize in anger management, and I've worked with a lot of behaviors when it comes to children. So we definitely have to keep, the lines of communication open with them, especially now that it's the end of the year and we're getting ready to approach the summer months where things starts to get, can become out of control.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, our Madam Chair, and Madam First Vice President, there's nothing else. I guess we will adjourn at this time. Thank you all for joining us.
You're on mute.
Thank you.
You're muted, Tracy. Anything else?
Tracy, you're speaking. Oh,
Yep, can you hear me now? I just want to say thank you all for joining us. I see we didn't have enough time to answer everyone's questions, but I have Tyra's information and I do have the questions, so I will follow back up to make sure everyone gets their journal. But I just want to really take the time to thank everyone for joining us.
all right. You're welcome. You have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.